What's up YouTube, Capital G here, checking out the first revealed cards from the long-awaited Cyber Style Structure deck. A lot of people have been highly anticipating this. Cyber Dragon fans have been, I'd say, cautiously optimistic because Cyber Style definitely implies that there will be something related to Cyber Darks. We all know that Cyber Dragons have been competitively an excellent archetype. Multiple YCS tops, even recently, like a couple years ago, they had a quarterfinal finish. But Cyber Darks, on the other hand, not so hot. And I think a lot of fans are definitely, they're kind of nervous about the Cyberdark angle. But we're going to go ahead and check out the three cards. The first one was very predictable, and that, of course, is a new fusion monster, which is the cover card and the boss monster for this structure deck. We all knew that Cybers were going to get a new fusion monster. That's not a surprise to anybody. Although I guess they could have gone with a Link, but probably would have been like a Link 3 or something like that. Anyways, this is Cyberdark End Dragon. It's a Dart Machine monster, level 12, 5,000 attack, and 3,800 defense. So basically, it's just a combination when it comes to stat lines of Cyber End Dragon and also like Cyber Dark Dragon. Combine the stats, combine the two cards, and basically you got this guy. It says it must be either fusion summoned or special summoned by attributing one level 10 or lower Cyber Dark Fusion monster equipped with Cyber End Dragon. Good luck with that. Your first effect says unaffected by any effect activated by your opponent. Second effect, once per turn, you can equip one monster from either graveyard to discard. Third effect, this card's maximum number of attacks per battle phase equals the number of cards equipped to it. So yeah, this is a really difficult card to summon, and I actually feel like Konami, I feel like they're falling back into the same bad habits that have kind of plagued Cyber Darks for years. If you guys don't know why Cyber Darks really never took off, it's because all the Cyber Dark fusion monsters are just so difficult to summon. They either require 3 specific Cyber Darks like the original from Cyberdark Impact, or when they got, legacy support during Arc V, that one required 5 Cyber Dark monsters, and it was arguably even harder. This card feels like it's in line with that. I mean, let's be real, you're never really gonna get a Cyber Dark Dragon that's specifically equipped with Cyber End. Like, that's pretty damn difficult. I know Cyber Darks do have some ways of sending cards from the extra deck to the graveyard, but I believe that only activates in the battle phase, so it's obviously kind of slow. I think you got a better chance of just hard fusing into this. Now, the subsequent cards we're going to talk about do make it easier to summon, but I don't know, it just feels like a lot of work. And on top of that, all this card is basically a towers. It feels very similar to something like the Arrival Cybers at Ignister, but maybe even a little weaker. This card loses to the same things that card does, things like an access code with a Link 3 used for it, or a Borosword Dragon. But in addition to that, keep in mind, only your opponent's activated effects won't work on this card. If your opponent has a continuous effect, I don't know, maybe something like Skill Drain or something else that's annoying like that, that will affect this card. So it's a little bit of a problem there. Now, this card does get multiple attacks, or it can potentially have multiple attacks, but I was also disappointed that it didn't gain the attack of the monster it equipped to it. And that's simply because I'm pretty sure all the Cyber Dark fusion monsters do that. Like Cyber Darkness Dragon and then Cyber Dark Dragon, they both do that. So I don't know, I kind of was surprised that they didn't do that with this card. Anyways, it is a card that does get easier when we talk about the next couple of cards. It gets easier to summon. We have a new Cyber Dark, of course. Well, I guess we just talked about a new Cyber Dark, but this is Cyberdark Chimera. This is a Dart Machine monster, level 4, 800 attack, and 2,100 defense. If only these Cyber Darks, man, would have like less than 500 attacks so you can machine dupe these damn things, which obviously Cyber Dragon players have been playing machine dupe for forever. You got a hard once per turn on both of the effects. The first effect is pretty nice, I'll give it that. It says you can discard one spell/trap as a cost, and add one power bond from your deck to your hand. Also, you cannot use monsters as fusion material for the rest of the turn, except dragon or machine cyber monsters, which you're probably just going to use those anyway, so I don't really see that as much of a restriction. It says, and once, if you fusion summon this turn, you can also use monsters in your graveyard as fusion material by banishing them. Second effect, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can send one Cyber Dark monster from your deck to the graveyard with a name that is different than cards in your graveyard. So this is obviously the power bond searcher that Cyber Dragon players have been wanting for forever. I feel like they're going to be disappointed by the package that it comes in, because yeah, getting a Power Bond Searcher is obviously super cool, and Cyber Dragon players want that, especially when, you know, like every monster in their damn deck counts as like Cyber Dragon on the field and in the graveyard. That's obviously very nice, and this card does have the effect where basically it turns Power Bond into a Miracle Fusion, so I could definitely see some, you know, some Cyber Twins and Cyber Ends coming down at 56 and, you know, 8,000 attack. Like, that should happen way more consistently. I just feel like, man, they're going to be mad that this is a Cyberdark card, honestly. If this was a Cyber Dragon card, this thing would be a godsend. I don't even think that the discard cost is really all that bad, although pitching specifically a Spell and Trap might be a little annoying. Maybe it could have been better if it was just like any card, although I guess, you know, you could pitch like Hertz, and maybe there's too many Cyber Dragon cards that activate in the graveyard. But this card is fine. If you wanted to maybe splash this like one copy into a Cyber Dragon deck, I could see that. The second effect is also okay, basically loading your graveyard up with Cyber Darks. I don't understand why it doesn't allow you to send from your extra deck, because there are other cards, as I you know, mentioned before, there are other cards that allow you to do that, and that would make it obviously a lot easier to get like a Cyber Dark Dragon in your graveyard, because to summon the new Cyber End Dark Dragon, you're just never gonna, you're never really going to summon that card by tributing, you know, a Cyber Dark that has a Cyber End equipped to it. So I feel like you're gonna have to Miracle Fusion for that guy. Maybe summoning it with Power Bond, 10,000 attack. That could definitely be a win condition. Okay, maybe that's what they want you to go for. 10,000 attack, Cyberdark End Dragon. Your final card is Cybernetic Horizon, and as people on Reddit pointed out, it's really awesome. Anytime we get a Yu-Gi-Oh card that is named after a booster set, we had that happen with Cyberdark Impact. Ironically, it's a booster set and it's a Yu-Gi-Oh card, and this is the same thing, Cybernetic Horizon. I read that and I was like, wait a minute, isn't that the booster set from Vrains where Cyber Dragons got more support? It's got the ritual card on the front of it. And sure enough, it is. Anyways, it's a normal spell, which is a hard once per turn. This card is always treated as a Cyberdark card. Interesting. It says you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck the turn that you activate this card, except machine monsters. It says send 2 dragon and or machine cyber monsters with different attributes to the graveyard, one from your hand and one from the deck. Add 1 dragon or machine cyber monster from your deck to your hand. And if you do, send one machine cyber fusion monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. So obviously this is supposed to be the way of like probably sending Cyber End Dragon straight from your extra deck into your graveyard so that you can at least have half of that done. Konami probably wants you to, you know, fusion summon for like Cyber Dark Dragon and then equip it, but I still don't know if I really see that happening. I think you have just a better chance of getting both of those cards in the graveyard and then using like Power Bond Miracle Fusion and just trying to one-shot your opponent with a 10,000 attack dragon. I think that that's probably your best chance of getting that effect off. This card obviously helps set up for the new Cyberdark End Dragon, and it is kind of cute that you can either, I guess, discard like Cyber Dragon Hertz from your hand and it'll trigger, or you can send it from your deck to the graveyard and that will also trigger it. So yeah, this is kind of like a nice little nifty card. I think that this is not going to be highly competitive because to me, this is very reminiscent of the stuff that we got in like Arc V. Now, I think that this is a much better win condition than like Cyber Darkness Dragon, because I definitely can see if you summon Cyber Dark End Dragon, especially with Power Bond, it should be 10,000 attack and it should be unaffected by almost everything your opponent uses. You should be able to kill them through, well, basically anything. So I think that's what they're going for. Maybe this will be a blind second, but it feels like to me, Konami they've fallen into the same old habit that they always have with Cyber Darks, and that is giving them these fusion monsters that are just so hard to summon. Like, I would really, really love to see just maybe a smaller fusion monster that requires, I don't know, a Cyber Dark plus a Cyber Machine. Like, that would be kind of good. Or, you know, just like two cyber machines of different attributes would be kind of cool, but we'll have to see. Obviously, there are still more cards to come. Whatever you guys think of the new Cyber style cards, you leave that in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching as always.